identify a star, then you look to invest in it to get growth, because it can be an engine for growth in your business. And once you have a star, you know it's likely that at some point, depending on the market and your understanding, going back to the cause, you know your market, okay? You know its characteristics, you know its basic cycles. So you know whether or not a star, how long a star is going to stay a star, because it only stays a star whilst the market growth is high. As that market starts to mature, it moves its way into a cash cow. And so the argument then is, as you see the writing on the wall for the growth within the market, then you start to invest in consolidating your market position to turn it into a cash cow. So again, don't take this too much as gospel, but it can be a useful, when you have some time down the track, when you have a number of products or services there, and maybe different categories, it allows you to have a go at mapping them. And I'm not saying that you must do one of these red arrows, or green arrows, but it will help you to organise your thoughts into which groupings maybe are worthy of investment, and which ones are potentially going to cause you a bit of a problem, maybe in terms of attention, the attention that you have to give to them for the time or for the money that they bring into your business. So it can just be a helpful way, for more mature business situations, and trying to categorise where you should put your investment. So if we had this little example, so we have a company which is supplying computers for home and small business customers. Okay, I'm not saying it's Dell, but it could be Dell. Okay, so they currently have a range of products. So, and again, don't take this as gospel, but you could argue, some businesses are getting out of desktop computers. The market growth there is small, and I'm not quite sure whether Dell's market share is probably bigger than that. But let's say there was a relatively small market share. Certainly that would be the case for printers. You can buy printers from a large number of vendors. So Dell's market share in printers is probably fairly modest, and it's a relatively slow growing market. So you could argue that certainly printers is a bit of a dog product. Netbooks then. So netbooks are a relatively recent innovation. They tend to be smaller, lighter laptops, but their whole raison d'etre is they do what they do by connecting to the internet. So they're online devices really. So they're a bit of a question mark. There is some growth in the market, perhaps particularly as internet 3G becomes more widespread. 4G is coming in. So the idea of having a connected device, a device which relies on being connected for its efficacy, is increasingly acceptable. So this is going to be a growing market, that of connected devices. But it's got to be a question mark, because at the moment market share might be low, and you can imagine this could go one of two ways depending on the way you want to play it. So call that a question mark. So then you've got tablets. So tablets, everybody wants a tablet. iPads have really grown that business, and then all the others have jumped in. So you can imagine the tablets are a very, very high growth market, and let's say that this company has got a relatively high share. So yeah, that's very much a star. So that's something which is generating growth for the business. They've got a high market share, so there might be millions of pounds a year of revenues, and that business is growing by 25% a year. So that's fantastic. You just by keeping in that market with that market share, it's just going to drag growth through for your business. So fantastic. And then laptops. Okay, you might still have a high market share, but tablets have eaten into laptop sales, so they've plateaued pretty much. So the growth there is lower. So you can say laptops are into the cash cow phase. They're still good earners, still good business. You turn them out and they're great, and they bring in lots of money when you sell them. And it's you've got a high market share, but the growth there is relatively low. So then the opportunity arises to sell a new type of product. which is a so-called convertible, which as you can see here is a that looks like it's Windows 8. But that's
I've looked at that one.
yeah, so that's a laptop with a flip screen. So the idea is it's both a laptop and a tablet. So the idea is it's both. Now, where the wheels come off a little bit is actually you could buy typically a laptop and a tablet for less than you pay for that convertible device. Did you have a look at these?
Yeah, the main point for that one was that you wouldn't have to try and connect all the different devices because it would be one.
It would be one, but they're big bucks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're expensive. And actually they're more expensive than buying both of the products that they're supposed to reproduce. So they're expensive. So where do you think you would, if you were thinking about taking those in, so it's a new product, it's a new innovation that you've either developed yourself or you've been offered, and you're thinking, shall I take this product on? And if I do, where's it going to kind of come in, elbow its way in or onto my matrix here, and what would typically be the direction of travel for it?
Probably question mark.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be a question mark because it might even be question mark, borderline dog, because if you're looking to reproduce tablet and laptop, if you're trying to tap into both of those markets, you're trying to tap into if you like, an average of those two markets' growths. So you'd argue that it's perhaps coming in somewhere, not far above this line here. So that's where it would enter as a question mark. Yes, you might say, that there is some growth in the market, but it's not massive, and that is driven by the fact it's an expensive device. So really, it's only going to be purchased by either well-heeled private individuals or businesses. So immediately you've only got a segment of your market that it's going to address. People aren't going to buy those for their kids to do homework on. They're way too expensive. So you've got a subset of the market or a segment of the market, which immediately means you're going to have to do a segmented marketing approach for this product because it isn't for everybody. So it kind of comes in here, and then its direction of travel would be, well, okay, if you're not prepared to invest in it, it's probably going to go down this way. It's rapidly going to become a dog, and it's probably going to be a failed product that's going to be out again. It's going to be a white elephant that you wish you never took on. But if you invest in it, then there's the possibility of driving it horizontally to the left here and getting it somewhere sort of into this area where the market growth is probably never going to be great, but you could, through market position and through your investment, you could perhaps drive it to some sort of position here. So that would be, if you come in here somewhere, if you don't invest in it, don't invest in that market segment, it's probably pretty quickly going to go down here and out again. But if you invest, it could move in this direction, and it could be a complement to these products, but only for that segment of the market who are prepared to pay the price for that combined utility. So that's just hopefully just to illustrate how you can use this little mechanism, this little matrix, just to help you again for mature businesses. Once you've got a number of products or services out there, and you're thinking about bringing another one in, you can see where it would come in, what it's got to elbow out of the way to make headway. And there's no doubt, if you did that and you invested in that, it's probably going to drive this that way, because your laptop share, that's really a laptop. That's more than laptop money. That's high-end laptop money. So it's likely to drive your laptop volumes that way, which means your market share would drop. So by bringing that in, recognising that the laptop is going to be driven in that direction, and to some extent the tablets will be driven in that direction, because if you bought one of those, you're not going to spend the money on the tablet as well. So the reality is you invest in that, but understand that it's going to drive tablets that way and laptops that way, because it's going to reduce your market share. So it's, it helps you with the interactive nature of this, the things it's going to impact. Right, so I was going to take a pause there. Look at that, I'm 1 minute late.